I wrote a list of players last night after the game and thought I want to bring this into the show, and it suits perfectly for the 8 o'clock show. So let's start off with Luke Shaw. Music World said I would sell Luke Shaw. We're not going to be able to do that. I thought he did reasonably well last night. There was an injury scare that made me think this is the problem. But look, we can't sell Luke Shaw. So I don't know. And when I say what's the short-term and long-term plan, I don't know what the long-term plan is with Luke Shaw. I mean, it's not like... I just don't know. I don't know where he goes. Maybe Saudi at some point if he fancies that. But very difficult player to move on because he's on 200 grand a week and he's got 2 or 3 years left on his contract. So Luke Shaw stays. But in my opinion, he has to sit on the bench. Dorgu should be playing at left wing back. And realistically, the centre-backs for me have got to be Yoro, Dalot and one other. Now, if it's Mazraoui, then Yoro can play left-sided centre-back. If it's Martinez back, then he will play there. You could even say Aiden Heaven. So I don't mind Luke Shaw staying because we can't remove him. But if he stays fit, I still think he becomes a bench player to me. What about Casemiro? I think with Casemiro, it's a little bit different. He wants to play in the World Cup for Brazil. And I think if we had European football, Casemiro would be quite useful. The pace of Europe is slower than the Premier League. But I saw it again yesterday. I don't think he played badly yesterday, but there was a couple of times again, like, you know, like when someone makes a tackle and it's almost like it was against West Ham and you're going, we're playing Bournemouth. It was that late. He just flew into a couple of tackles and was nowhere near them. And that's always a big indicator to me that there is a player that's struggling with the pace of the game. So I think with Casemiro, I like Casemiro. I think he's one of the best holding midfielders of a generation, really. But I don't think he can deal with the speed of the Premier League. And I think that becomes a big problem for us. With Dalot, I've sort of got a spoiler alert here. With Dalot, I think he's a bench player like Shaw. I know he's a lot younger. But I would say that Dalot is the player that I would put him on the bench, the same as Luke Shaw. I don't see him as a starter. I might be wrong. I think Amrin probably does. But I like Dalot in the sense of what I said this morning. Your John O'Shea, your Wes Brown, your Phil Neville, your Darren Fletcher. You need these types of players. Now, all those players were better than Dalot, but they were all playing in teams that were winning the league. We're not winning the league, so you're not going to have players of that quality, but you can still have a player that does that. And I think Dalot's the sort of player that can play left wing back, right wing back, maybe even drop in the midfield, maybe even play right-sided centre-back. So I think Dalot is a very useful player to have, but I wouldn't be starting him. Next player I want to talk about is Mount. What do we see for Mason Mount? I don't know. I sort of agree. Well, I do agree with Robert McCormack that Amorim likes Mount. And I thought he did okay last night. And the thing about Mason Mount is he tends to do okay. And then I remind myself, almost give myself a pinch and go, ow. And the pinch says, you know, he cost us £55 million and he wears the number 7 shirt. And then I go, yeah, Mason Mount's not Dalot. He's not some, utility player. He costs £55 million and he's running around in the number 7 shirt. He's meant to be delivering like Bruno. He's meant to be delivering like an Odegaard. He's meant to be delivering. And all he ever does is play all right. And I thought he did all right last night. I mean, he certainly got the assist for Dorgu. But I'm somewhat perplexed by what Mount is because, one, his injury problems are a concern. Hopefully he can stay fit. But two, we've just spent £127 million on people who play in his position. So that's an admission from Amorim, and it's a lack of trust, probably in his fitness. So I don't really know what Mount is. I would say the same about Xerxes as well. I think Xerxes in a similar situation to Mount, where he's a bench player at the moment. I don't know why Bruno's on the list, actually. He's our second to last player. What do we think about Bruno short-term, long-term? I mean, Bruno's our captain for the next however many years. I mean, I think Bruno will be here longer than Amorim, potentially. Certainly with Amorim. So I think Bruno is a focal point to the team, and he ain't going to go anywhere. So yeah, I don't know why I put Bruno down there. Maybe just for content. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, look, what's the saying? It's a bit like, come what may, Bruno will play. Come what may, come what may, Bruno will play. Yeah, he will play. So look, whether Amrim and Bruno take us to the stars, or whether Bruno and Amrim take us where Ten Hag and Ollie and everyone else did, I don't know. But I think Bruno will be a focal point to this team. I don't know why I got it wrote down. And then that leaves Rasmus, who, for me, I think a lot of these players, look, Casemiro should go, but I think Shaw, Mount, Dalot and Rasmus are bench players for me, and I want to keep them all. I think we've lost the ability to understand that you do need a squad and you do need bench players, and not everybody can start. Only 11 people can be in your best 11. So I personally think with Bruno, I would sorry, not with Rasmus, I would keep him as the striker option on the bench.